Welcome back to One Comic Book a Day, where we're covering Action Comics 178, The Sandman of Crime. I know I've been making fun of the titles the last few days, having their little extra bit with, like, Superwoman from space, or 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea with Superman, but the Sandman of Crime is actually very important to actually point out, as there was a superhero known as the Sandman, Wesley Dodd, who was a mystery novelist who solved crime wearing a gas mask and shooting out knockout gas from a gun. He had actually existed since 1938. He had been around as long as Superman, essentially. But it's the 1950s, and Wesley Dodd's final issue of the Golden Age came out in 1946. If you watch my video explaining why I think the 1950s are the Dark Ages, you know why comics sort of ended in the mid-late 40s. Or most superhero comics ended in the 1940s, late 1940s. And Sandman was, unfortunately, a casualty of that. So technically he doesn't exist right now. I'm pretty sure there wasn't a 1950s Sandman existing in the 1950s. I'm pretty sure when Sandman eventually came back in the Silver Age, and during other stories there was revealed that there was in fact a 50s Sandman, or that Wesley Dodd was doing things in the 50s. But in the 1950s, right now, with the publication of the Superman comic, there isn't a Sandman superhero comic that is being published. This is a fun little idea of a story that I like the second half more than the first half of. Essentially, there is a villain scientist guy who has invented a way to broadcast dreams in people's head. He films them. They're like movies. He then projects them into a machine as someone is sleeping. He's using this technology instead of becoming super rich by introducing it to the people and giving them whatever dream they wanted. Criminals. He's introducing it to criminals to help their confidence. So it's mostly like them escaping from prison or committing other crimes. Really helps them in their day-to-day life. But their most requested dream is Superman, which is how Clark ends up finding out about this, because there seems to be open auditions for Superman. So Clark poses as a guy named Denver and becomes the Superman for these videos. Technically, so far, he's not really doing anything exactly wrong, though he is supporting the criminals committing crimes and paying him for it. And I think that's part of the reason the first half of the story doesn't quite work. It's an interesting idea, but there isn't exactly anything going horribly wrong, and Clark could actually stop this at any time. But he doesn't really have a good legal reason to send at least the guy who invented the Dream Machine to jail. He could capture all the other guys. He knows they're committing crimes. It's the second half of the story, once they figure out that Denver, which is his made-up actor name, is in fact Superman, because one of the other guys shoots him out of jealousy that he got cast as Superman and survives it, that they figure out Denver is Superman. So first they kidnap Clark Kent, which is, once again, the second biggest mistake you can make other than taking Lois. They've literally brought Superman into the lion's den. But this does pose a slight problem with Clark. He can't just immediately stop the crime without them kind of figuring out that Clark Kent is Superman. You're probably seeing what's coming. He's going to use the Dream Machine. In fact, he convinces them all that it is reality as they defeat Superman. I don't know why he had to let them defeat him in this dream, only for him to pull the rug from under them and reveal it was all a dream, and that they're all screwed now. Funny enough, after the confidence of being defeated by Superman in the dream, they don't seem to try to attack him here. It seemed to work well in that dream. But this is the real, actual fun part of the comic that's full of actual conflict and interesting moments and bits of character from Superman. Mostly him toying with them, but it's stronger than the first half of the story, where he's just kind of acting and trying to get in with this weird business. Maybe it doesn't have more to it after the dream is over, because the story is basically over. They're out of pages. So, like, literally within a panel, the guy who invented everything is in prison. No one ever takes this technology to do anything more interesting with it. Not even later Sandmans. Okay, that is it from Action Comics 178, The Sandman of Crime. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Hit the bell icon to get notifications when a new video goes up. I do this Monday through Friday, but Fridays is Bat Friday, where I cover a Batman story in either Detective Comics or Batman. And until next time, let's ponder the question, whatever did happen to the man of tomorrow. And did Wesley Dodd technically exist in the same universe as Superman right now? I don't think he did. I mean, Batman barely does, and the only reason we have confirmation of that is the Cruise story. Okay, have a great day.